So Tibetan yoga, or this within this whole genre of Tibetan yoga, you're working the muscles in a slightly different way, and I always forget. So they are rotational twisting, followed by stretching, followed by gathering the energy and then distributing it, and you just will not pick that up. I might, on some very obvious ones, I might just say what it is, but because it's working in a particular way, it's kind of going on behind the scenes, and you're actually going through each chakra. And Tibetan yoga originated in India, of course, but then it went into the temples or monasteries, and from there it stayed in its original form, whereas yoga in India then moved on, and so you've got a lot of the original teachings. And this particular sequence is based on a whole series called Lady Naguma, and it was the very first yoga ever for a woman, because of course the yoga tradition was all men. And so in that it has various little foibles within that, but anyway, so let's just come to standing. Lift and roll the shoulders back down, setting the energy. Press the feet into the ground and feel that you're balanced on front and back of the foot, and then side to side. Lift the toes and just reconnect the toes to the ground, and just again feel that you're connecting. And then once more, as you breathe in, turn your head to the left. Breathe out, turn your head to the right. This seemingly simple movement, and again, left as you breathe in, ticks all kinds of boxes which would take me too long to explain. It's and again, just a couple of times, it's keeping the movement of the neck moving, but that is so much more than just keeping the neck muscles moving. It connects into the thyroid, the parathyroid, part of the metabolic rebalance, but it also connects into the cranial nerves and the vagus nerve. And as we get older, our ability to turn our head and look over the shoulder can, in some people, diminish. And then come back to the centre. Lift and roll the shoulders. And then breathing in, raising the arms up. Clasp. Reverse, stretching up. So this is an extension for the spine. Breathing out, laterally, go to one side. Breathing in, come to the centre, and then laterally go to the other side. Come to the centre. Just turn slightly, and again you can stay static or just bounce in and out. So that's a rotation. Come to the centre, and breathing out, just go to the other side. So already we've done extension, lateral, and rotation for the spine. Come to the centre. And just with your hands up for a nanosecond, lift your heels and just see how great or otherwise balance is. And then lower the heels, lower the arms to shoulder height. If that's too much for your shoulders, then bend your elbows and turn to look beyond the fingers of your hand. One side, centre, and beyond the fingers of the hand, the other side. Come to the centre. And then lower the arms. Lift and roll the shoulders. Clasp the hands behind you, aim your knuckles to the ground, and just lift your hands slightly away. If you want to be very yogic, you'll have a closed hand, so your thumbs together. That's quite hard, otherwise have an open weave. And just turn slightly to the left, come to the centre, and then turn very slightly to the right and come to the centre. And then just release the hands and lift and roll the shoulders. While we're here, just hold your wrists, or if your hands naturally go there, hold somewhere on the forearms. Just lift your elbows fractionally, only if that works for you, and turn to the left. Come to the centre and then turn to the right and come to the centre. Either do that again, or if you can do reverse prayer, which again is tricky, turn to the left, come to the centre, and turn to the right, and come to the centre. And then release the hands, lift and roll the shoulders, and circling the wrists up. Stretch out, making our own sunshine today, and then head centre, and then come down. And then just circle the wrists in one direction, and circle the wrists in the other direction. And then just open and close the fingers. And then just release, lifting and rolling the shoulders. And then feet a little bit hip width apart. Soften the knees and slide the hands down to where you feel comfortable. And then when you've got to where you feel that's enough, just you'll have to hold your elbows. You can then begin to straighten your legs, but only if that works for you. If you are straightening your legs, feel that your sit bones are aiming up to the ceiling. Just take an in and an out breath. Release the hands, soften the knees if they're not already soft, and then press the feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And then in and out as you lift and roll your shoulders. Breathing in, turn the head to the left. And breathing out, turn the head to the right. Come back to the centre. Breathing in, just open your arms, and breathing out, hug. Just come forward and just gently sway from side to side. Stretching out the thoracic area, back, shoulders. Remember which hand's on top. Open your hands. And then come to hug the other way round. Coming forward, really stretching out the back. The chin is to the chest, the vagus muscle, anti-inflammation, calming for the nervous system. And then breathing in, just come to lifting and rolling the shoulders. And then hands to the heart, half salute to the thumbs. Breathing in as you soften your knees and circle the hands up. Palms together, come through the centre, hands onto the knees or the shins, half lift, breathing out, soften in. Breathing in, half lift, and stay here as you breathe. Breathing in, soften the knees, press the feet into the ground, and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Hands up, and hands down. Hands together at the heart center. Soften the knees as you circle the arms up, stretching up your extension. Bring the hands through the center of the body, soften the knees and onto the shins. Half lift. Breathing out, softening. Half lift. Stay here as you breathe out. And breathing in, soften the knees, press the feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And hands up. And hands down. Hands together at the heart center. Soften Soften the knees. Circle the arms up, stretching. Come down through the heart center. Again, bring your hands to your shins. Press into your shins, half lift. Breathing out, soften your legs, bending. Breathing in, half lift. Stay here as you breathe out. Breathing in your time, roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Hands up and lower. Breathing in, circle your hands up. And as you breathe out, soften your knees and turn your body to the right, looking over your right shoulder. Breathing in, come back to the center. And breathing out, soften your knees slightly as you go to the left. Breathing in, straighten the knees, circle the arms up. Come back to the center and join your thumbs as you just very gently sway from side to side. And then lower the hands. Lift and roll the shoulders. So we're going to come to salute to the suns. As always, if your knees are bothering you, then keep to being on all fours and not coming into downward dog. But come to the top of the mat, lift and roll the shoulders, hands together at the heart center. Again, soften the knees fractionally, circle the hands up, palms together. Come through the center as you bend your knees. Hands onto the shins, half lift. But then as you breathe out, soften your knees and bring your fingers to either side of your feet. And step or slide back with your right foot. Extend the right leg and then drop the right knee to the ground. If you can, come up onto your fingertips and the back toes can be tucked or flat. And then slide your left leg back so that you're on all fours and come onto your hands properly and your knees. Again, here your feet could be flat or tucked. Breathing in, turn your head to look over the left shoulder. And you might like to sway your hips as well as you turn your head to look over the right shoulder. Come back to the center and again perhaps turn to look over your left shoulder. Your right hips might sway to the right. And then very gently come to the other side, turning to look over your right shoulder. Your hips might sway to the left. And come to the center. Breathing in, dipping the back, looking either up or along the floor. And breathing out, rounding chin to chest. Again, this time as you dip your back to look up, stay here for a moment and then just micro bend your elbows and straighten them again and you'll feel the tightening in your lower abdominal muscles. Just try that again, soften, micro bend the elbows and then straighten them. And then rounding the back, chin to chest. And for those who want to join in downward dog, tuck your toes. Otherwise, stay on your hands and knees into cat-cow. If not, come into your downward dog by bending your knees, lengthening the spine, then begin to straighten the legs. Feel that you can adjust the feet to wider if you want to, and then bend one knee and extend the heel of the other leg, walking the dog, and then bending the alternate knee. And extending the heel. Your heels don't have to come to the ground. Just a couple of times, walking the dog, tummy in, perineum engages, don't let it all hang out. And then both legs extend, and then bend both knees if you have come up into downward dog to bring the knees back down to the ground, and we're all on all fours. And then move your hands to the left to give space for your right foot to come up. Hands to either side of your right foot. And just once more, just let your right knee, supported by your hands, to drift slightly forwards, just stretching out the right hip. This remains within your control, as little or as much as you would like. And then bring your right knee back to a 90-degree angle to make sure that you're being supported. And tuck your left toes under, engage your left abdomen in slightly, and then lift up your left knee. And either step or slide your left foot to your right foot in little hops or in one go. Hands on the shins, half lift. Breathing out, soften your knees, bend in. Breathing in, half lift. And stay here as you breathe out. Breathing in, soften the knees, press the feet into the ground, and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Hands up, stretch up. Feel that your thumbs are going behind you and your little fingers are stretching in front of you, so that you really stretch your fingers, and then lower the hands. Lift and roll the shoulders. Clasp the hands behind you and aim the knuckles to the ground, either thumbs together or open weave, whatever works for you. Lifting the chest, so this is a back bend. A downward dog could be considered an inversion. And then separate the hands, slide the fingers down the backs of the legs. Hands to either side of your feet. Soften the knees and slide your left foot back. For a nanosecond, stretch your left leg back, heel up to the ceiling, and then lower the left knee back to the ground. Come on to perhaps your fingertips. If you're being ever so yogic, your fingertips and tops of your toes should be in line. That is easier said than done. If you need to bring your hands forward, then please do. Just let your knee drift forwards to support you. Just opening out the hip. And then sliding the right leg back. And then hands onto the ground. Hands are shoulder width apart, knees are hip width apart. Just some classic dipping the back, looking up. And rounding back chin to chest, but then carry on bringing the bottom towards the heels, stretching out your arms, extended child's pose. Breathing in, kneel back up again, and again dip the back, looking up or along the mat, rounding chin to chest, and once more bring the bottom towards the heels, stretching out. If that's not good for your knees, then don't bring your bottom quite so far down. Then come back to kneeling, and either do that again or classic cat-cow, but if you want to join in tucking the toes to come to downward dog, tuck your toes, tummy in, and perineum engages. To take the weight off your wrists, you will bring your bottom back towards your heels. So already the weight's off your wrists. Then lift one knee and then lift the other. Both knees are really bent. You're pushing back away from your hands so that your back elongates. Then you extend your legs. And the wider you have your legs, the easier that is on your back. And if you keep your knees bent at all times, that's also easier on your back. And then optionally begin to walk the dog. Just check that your tummy, your lower abdominal muscles are in, which is bringing them back to the spine. And to make sure that you are engaging your tummy if you're up, look at your front hands And then look back to your feet, and that will engage your tummy even more. Walking the dog, keeping your eyes now to the back, towards your feet. Both legs extend, and then both knees come back down to the earth. And just sway your hips from side to side. And we're going to look while we're here at the shoulders. So turn your right palm up, slide it behind your left arm, bottom up to the air, and then just come to bring your right shoulder to the ground, right side of the head to the ground. You might like to extend your left hand up towards the mat, or just alter the position to make that easier for you. Bottom is up to the ceiling, and you use your left hand to guide how much weight or otherwise you put on your right shoulder and the right side of the head. Tummy in, press your left hand down, slide your right hand out, and back to tabletop. Just sway your hips from side to side. And then we come to the other side where we turn the palm of the left hand up, slide the left palm behind the right hand, bringing the left shoulder and hair, side of the head to the ground. Move your right hand to be good for you, and just feel the stretch on the left side now, bottom up. And in order to come out, bring the perineum in, tummy in, press down with the right hand and slide back. You're on all fours. And this time move your hands to the right to give space for your left foot to come up. Hands to either side of your left foot. Just let your left knee go beyond the 90 degrees, holding your body weight with your hands so there's no pressure. You control any weight or otherwise on your left hip. But in order to come up, bring your left knee to 90 degrees to make sure that the angle is correct. Tuck your right toes under, tummy in, perineum engages. Lift your back knee and step your right foot to your left. Hands on the shins, half lift. Breathing out, soften in. Breathing in, half lift. And stay here as you breathe out. Breathing in, press your feet into the ground, soften your knees and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And breathing in, raise your hands up. You can either look forward or look up, and that will depend on your neck capacity. And breathing out, lower your hands. Breathing in, hands together at the heart centre. Soften your knees fractionally as you circle your arms up. Hands together, and you can either look forward or look up. But when you come forward, as you soften your knees, your head is upright, it comes forward. Bending down, sliding your hands to your shins, breathing in, half lift. But as you breathe out, soften your knees, and your hands go to either side of your feet, and slide your right foot back. Right knee on the ground. And then left knee back, left knee on the ground, doing tabletop. Just a couple of cat-cows here, dipping the back and rounding. Dipping the back and rounding. And then sliding the hands towards your knees as you kneel up. Circle the arms up and hold your left wrist with your right hand. Just slightly sway from side to side. And then change so that your left hand is holding your right wrist and just sway from side to side. Lower the hands, bend your knees, and come back for a moment to make fists with your hands and stack your fists one on top of the other and just rest your forehead on your fists. Bottom in the air a little bit. A forward bend to compensate that holding the wrists. And then very gently come back onto all fours and move your hands to the left to give space for your right leg to come up. Hands to either side of your right foot. If you need more balance, then you can always move your right foot out to the right. Tummy in. You can keep your back left foot flat or tucked, and then slide your hands up your right leg to come to kneeling. Open your palms and look forwards or up. Bring your head to upright and raise your hands up. They can be a little bit or they can be really up. And then breathing out, turn to the right, but place your right hand on your right waist and your left hand goes straight in front of you and turn to look over your right shoulder. It's quite a balance. Come back to the centre, hands to either side of your right foot. And then slide your right foot back. Just once more, hands down, hip and shoulder width apart. Sway your bottom from side to side. And then move the hands to the right to step your left foot up. And again, if you feel that you're going to need more help with your balance, move your left foot more to the left. Hands to either side of your left foot. And when you're ready, press your left foot down and slide your hands up your left side to open, almost like a moon salute. Open your hands. You're opening the top of the shoulder, the arm in the upper arm in the shoulder socket. And then bring your head upright and circle your arms up to either cactus arms, or if your arms will go further, then just stretch up into a like a crescent moon. If you want to make it an absolute crescent moon, you bring your palms together, maybe hold the thumbs, stretch up, and then you would look up at your hands and almost go backwards like a crescent moon. That's harder. Bring your head upright and lower the hands to either side. Before you do, so as you lower your hands, place your left hand on your left waist, your right hand goes out and turn to look over your left shoulder. So the key here is to press your left big toe down, which will lengthen your body. And if you want to make a Jnana Mudra with your right hand, either down or up, that might further bring your focus in, or it might not. Come back to the centre and hands to either side of your left foot. Slide your left foot back so that you're in kneeling position again. And then quarter dog. Bring your right hand across. So hopefully that makes sense, across your body. And then bottom up, slide your left hand forwards and bring your bottom back so that you get a stretch on your left side. Even here, bring your tummy in and engage your perineum up. You can even rest your head on your right forearm. And then reverse that so that you slide your left arm back. The left arm goes across the body and your right arm stretches out. Bottom sort of, it's up, but then if you bring it back slightly, you'll get an absolute stretch. Your head can be off the ground or it can be resting on your left forearm. You just adjust it to feel for you. This is quarter dog. And then just slide your right arm back. Come to slide your hands back. Drop your bottom to over the side. Extend your legs out. We are going to come to line, but before we do, just have your bolster within easy grasp, easy reach to the right side of you. Just try and never not to set myself on fire. And then just before we come to line, bottom, flesh out from under the bottom, just bounce the legs, just rub or bounce or tap, just rub all the way around. And connect the fingers to the ground, just Dandasana. So true Dandasana is hands down, which I think is quite hard. Semi-Dandasana is just the relaxed, connecting the fingers to the ground. And then release that, come to line. Start by having your knees bent and feet hip width apart. Press your feet down to lift your bottom, just to straighten yourself out. And palms down, or palms down alongside you or on your abdomen. Just let the knees drift from side to side, remembering that the wider you have your feet, the easier it is on your lower back, the greater massage you get. How much you let your knees drop to the side is up to you. And you might find that your head starts to roll with movement as well. And then come back to the centre. This time we're going to extend our legs along the ground. So we're in a sort of semi-shavasana. And once the legs are extended, the hands can be palms up in shavasana or palms down. Just point and flex the feet a couple of times. Heels extend, toes up to the ceiling, and stretch the feet the other way. And then begin to circle the ankles in one direction. And then circle the ankles in the opposite direction. And then keep your right leg extended where it is and bending your left knee into the chest. Just with your leg extended, you might find that you can't hug your left knee in quite so much as you might do normally. Just explore the hip by circling the left knee a few times in one direction. And again, if you want to add a core factor in here, then let your knee do the work and don't rely on your hands, let your tummy do the work. But again, whatever works for you. Circle your knee a few times in the opposite direction. Hug the left knee into the chest. And then we're going to roll the entire body to the right, so the left hip lifts. You might need your elbows to help you. And as you roll the entire body to the right, use your bolster or your support to hold your left inner leg, your left inner thigh. Your right hand goes somewhere on your outer left thigh. And your left hand has a choice. It can either rest on your left waist with the left elbow out to the side. That's the nicest in terms of the easiest. And it opens your left lung very nicely. If you want to be challenged a little bit more, then you can bend your left elbow and just stretch your left arm like a sleeping baby. Back of the hand on the ground, up above you. Find a comfortable position. And you'll feel that pull under your left arm a little bit more. You're getting more into the upper lymphatic system.
Or if you really want to stretch, then open your arm out to the left, palms down, and that's like a book, that's a really strong stretch. So choose which you want to do. In your head, you might find naturally slightly rolls to the left. That's fine. And the final point is to extend your right leg so that the right heel extends slightly, and then relax it, just that you can activate your right leg. You'll feel this on the left hip, just very nice. Stretch. If you really want to stretch out, extend your right leg, your right heel, and that will just stretch and arc your body, and then release. And then just gently roll the whole body backwards. You might like to bend both knees and place both feet on the ground to allow you to press your feet down, lift your body up and just reset it. And then taking your bolster, your support, go to the other side, your left side that is, and then just sway your knees gently from side to side. And then keeping your right knee where it is for the moment, extend your left leg along the ground. Extend the left heel and then relax it a little bit. And then hug the right knee into the chest. And just circle the right knee a little bit in one direction. Your circle you define. It can be a tiny circle or it can be quite a big circle. It's a wonderful hip flexibility movement for anybody at any age. And reverse your circle in the opposite direction. And why it's so good is that you're controlling the amount of movement you make, and you're not putting a huge amount of weight on your hip. So it becomes a very safe and easy exercise to do. And then think about rolling your entire body over to the left. You might like to engage your elbows to support you to roll over. And your left knee or your left inner thigh will rest on your support. Your left hand will go somewhere along on the outside of your right thigh. And to extend your body and stretch it, extend your left heel and then relax. Your right hand can either go on the waist or elbow bent above you, diagonally out, that stretches under up the arm a little bit more. Or the strongest expression would be opening your right arm like a book at shoulder height, palms down really, and you can either look up or to the right, depending on where your head naturally goes. And to feel that aspect of stretch even more, extend your left heel so that you're really stretching your body and then just release and relax. This seemingly simple, I suppose, movement or exercise, the pravriti aspect of the term, is really ticks a lot of boxes, particularly opening up at the sacral chakra, the element of water and the kidneys, but also your whole energy, your whole life vitality. It's a rotation for the spine. As I said, it connects into the lower abdominal organs as it slightly, we've got the twist element here. And then you've got the stretch as you extend your left leg. And then to come out of that, we need to go to the gathering bit. So just roll back when you're ready. It sometimes helps to bend both knees, both feet on the ground, to allow you to reset your bottom and your back, pressing down, lifting, and then just resetting. And then from here, you gather the energy in. So bend one knee in and then the other knee in. And just gently sway from side to side with both knees gathered in. And then very gently, still holding the knees, let both knees drift away to arm's length. And then hugging both knees into the chest. Both knees away. Hugging both knees into the chest. And do that a couple of times to your own breath pattern. And a reminder that if you want to add a core element, that you let your tummy do the work. In other words, you don't hold your knees quite so tightly with your hands, but that's an option. There's something very satisfying about hugging your knees into your chest. And then just very gently slide your hands down your shins, your knees will open, and just hold above your ankles. Your big toe joints will be vaguely aiming towards one another. And it's just a very gentle lower abdominal focus. It's almost like a lying Baddha. Very good for abdominal organ health, blood flow to the lower abdominal area and the lower lymphatic system. I'm not going to keep you here for too long. And then just hugging the knees into the chest. And the final part of the previous, it's all rolled into one really, is distributing. So you're just stretching out here, just holding your underneath your thighs, holding the maybe clasping your hands together under your thighs, and just feet up to the ceiling. Your knees can be bent, and just very, very gently, slightly swaying like seaweed. So this, strangely enough, is a forward bend. It's an upside down forward bend. So it is an inversion, of course, but if you think of a forward bend sitting up, this is a lesser forward bend, but it still imitates the shape. And then hugging the knees into the chest. And then coming to roll to either the right, away from your heart. We're going to come to a seated position. Or if you want to rock up, being mindful not to disturb your energy, come to a seated position, however that works for you. And this time have legs out. Flesh out from the bottom. Lengthen the body by just connecting the hands. And keeping this very, very simple, breathing in, hands circle up. Breathing out, hands go to, as you turn to look to the right, left hand goes to the outer right thigh, right hand behind. And turn to look over your right shoulder. When you're ready, come back to the centre by raising your arms and breathing out, coming to the other side, left hand behind, right hand somewhere on the outer left thigh, and turn to look over the left shoulder.
Breathing in, coming back. Hands to either side of you, legs in a slight V, and just slide the hands down. Feel that you're leading with your chest. Slide the hands down to the shins, maybe the ankles. To slightly forward bend. If you would like to try, a forward bend can often be complicated for lower back issues. If you wanted to try having your bolster on your tummy, that will lift your body up, and as you come forward, it's less onerous on your lower back. And I realise that you might need to, yeah, okay. Just a slight forward.
Don't go that far.
Chin to chest is very calming for the vagus nerve. If you've got long arms, you can hold your big toe. I'm hearing a laugh of derision here.
It's
So-
only.
So perhaps not. Well done, Lisa. Not that I'm picking you out, Sue, but it's just your arm length.
It's alright, I've got short arms.
And then very gently slide the body up. And bring the legs together. Just bounce your legs again. And to counter that, just lift your chest, press your hands down, lift your chin if that works for you, a controlled lift, and raise your eyes to the top of your eyebrows, almost to the top of your head. It becomes a mindfulness exercise, letting go of all thoughts, but then bring the head to upright. Just turn the head to the right, turn the head to the left. Once more, breathing to turn the head to the right, your own breath, and then back to the left. And come to the centre. And then coming to, we've moved along the body, I don't know if you've kind of got that, but coming to lie, knees bent, the bolster again, just you're putting your hips on the bolster, this one is quite high, palms down, or hold the mat, then bend one knee and then the other knee into the chest. And then one leg up and the other leg up. If you find your nice spot, but in here it's quite easy to let the weight go to your middle of your back where the bra strap might be. And that then becomes something called Viparita Karina. And that is, although it's a half shoulder stand, it also works on the heart level. So it's between the shoulder, it's between the heart centre and the throat centre. You can just be static, but if you're someone who gets bored, you can just circle your ankles a couple of times in one direction. And then circle the ankles a couple of times in the opposite direction. You can extend the heels, feel the stretch along the back of the leg, and then release and relax, and then extend the heels again, and release and relax. You can cross one ankle over the other, and then cross the other way. And you can open your legs out to make a V, extending the heels. You'll feel that on the inner thighs. You can just rest your fingertips on your inner thighs, elbows on the ground.
And then you can bring your legs together and just slightly bring them over, in almost mimicking a modified plough. Mine are hardly over, just slightly. Being careful not to build up pressure. With classic shoulder stand and plough, you can build up pressure in the head. So this is a really easy way of getting the benefits from the pose, but without necessarily getting any of the pressure that you might otherwise feel. It's an inversion, so it's balancing for the endocrine system. And if you wanted to do this like this, with your legs against the wall, you might spend 10, 15 or even 20 minutes there. And then you can just move your heels in a semicircle in the same direction. All kinds of variations. And then very, very gently bend your knees into your chest, and then enjoy that for a second, and then carry on bringing your feet back down to the ground. Just stay here for a couple of breaths. Your hands are down. Chin probably is into the chest. And then press your feet down to lift your bottom a fraction to slide your support out from underneath you. And your bottom then goes down to the ground. Palms down, and just a couple of pelvic tilts. Flattening the back as if you're going to raise the bottom, and then releasing. And then flattening the back, and then releasing. And once again, flattening the back and releasing. And then just very, very gently bring one hand, the fingertips of one hand, and just stroke across the third eye. We've left the throat now, and we've gone up to the forehead. We've done a journey of the chakras, so this is now the third eye. Just tracing the fingertips very gently across the forehead. Coming on and off at the same point, just gently soothing the third eye. And then a nod to the top of the head, the Saraswara crown chakra. Just take both hands to the top of the head and either hold the head or just very, very gently tap your fingers around the top of the head. That connects you to the outer world. Then very gently release. And bring your hands to your abdomen. Elbows are out at the side. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out through the mouth in your own breath time, a few times. Building up your nitric oxide, boosting your immune system, relaxing the body, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then very gently let the breath go. Once more, hug your knees into the chest and come to roll onto the side. We're going to come to a seated position, but take your time.
And just take one hand to the back of the head, the occiput, the other hand to the forehead. You'll probably have your head down to stretch the back of your neck. And just press the two hands towards each other. Very much a somatic movement. It's hard to hold stress in the body when you're very much aware of the sensory feel of your hands. Keep the hand on the forehead and take the hand from the back of the head to your heart centre, and you'll feel yourself lift up slightly. And then take the hand on the forehead to place it on your navel, and imagine a golden thread or a silver thread connecting the heart and the navel chakra. Again, very hard to slouch while you've got your hands here. Just a subtle reminder to give space internally within the body. And then bring both hands to the heart, drop your chin to the chest. And take a moment to have a thought for the day, for yourself or for someone close to you or for the wider world. And have that thought a couple of times and then just let it drift away. And now choose a colour and just let that colour get going. Connect through all the way from the base of the spine all the way up to the top of the head. And then breathing out, that colour moves down from the top of the head down to the base of the spine. And just again, as you breathe in, your favourite colour for today moves from the base of the spine, the perineum, up to the top of the head. As it breathes out, going down the spine, it takes away with it anything you don't want today. Pain, niggles, thoughts. And one last time, coming in, going up the spine on the in-breath, pausing for a moment and reversing as it goes down, taking with it anything you don't want. And then take a bow for yourself, chin to chest. And thank you for joining me today. And then